Hit subscribe to the DIY Writer to support your hardworking authors and also lessen your chances of ending up as a victim in their next book. Join me at the first annual Icarus Book Convention, May 8th and 9th. This conference has a great lineup of speakers, including Little Old Me, talking about podcasts, vlogs, and other neat author stuff. Go to Icarus, IQARUS book, con, CON.com for more information. Hope to see you there. This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast. Today we have Leslie Conzatti. Conzatti?
Yes.
Conzatti?
Conzatti.
Right. Oh, I got it right the first shot. Holy cow. It will be the only time I get something right on the show. It really will be. Anyway, she is the author of a few short stories. She's been writing a blog, but most recently she released the Princess told you I'd screw it up. Princess of Undersea. Not Princess Under the Sea, it's Princess of Undersea. Yes. Sorry, I told you I'd butcher that several times. Anyway, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Everybody here in the United States really doesn't want to hear about how you're doing today since you're in Hawaii.
Well, it just happens. It just happened that way, we got out of Dodge just as the snowstorm hit Washington State, where I live. So
the only state in the United States that actually has sun and it looks actually nice. Everybody else is freezing their giblets off.
Winter here just looks a little different, I guess.
Yeah, right. Jeez Louise. But anyway, so that should tell everybody what the timing is of this actual show, since it's colder than anyway. They used to say back home, it's colder than a well digger's banana. I never knew why a well digger would take bananas down with them, but evidently it was a thing. Anyway, back to you. How you doing today? I'm sorry. We really do want to know how you're doing.
I am doing all right. It's about halfway through our vacation now. We've had a couple really fun days of playing on the beach and just taking walks through the town.
Mm-hmm. What island are you on?
We're on Maui.
Maui?
Yes.
Maui. Oh, Maui. The big island. No, it's not. Is it the big island? No, it's not. It's a little island. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I've never been to Hawaii, so
it's definitely our favorite.
Yeah, color me jealous. Anyway, it's your favorite?
Yeah, there's just a lot to explore and a lot more stuff to do, and the accommodations are pretty nice. So
yeah, everybody that I know that has gone to Hawaii loves it, and that's why I probably never go. Yeah, just I'll go someplace fun like I don't know, the Wisconsin Dells. Just kidding. Anyway, so let's talk about your book, The Princess of Undersea.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it.
So Princess of Undersea, it's a fantasy retelling of The Little Mermaid. So I took the original. I've always really, really liked the Disney version and just the concept of mermaids and stuff. And I remember my first time reading the actual original fairy tale was a bit of a shock. It's kind of a little bit more intense than Disney made it seem. But I just really liked those ideas and stuff, and just being able to explore a mermaid kind of a thing, and like the way that the mermaids would like order their society kind of a thing, or mm-hmm. the way that they look and the way that they interact with humans and stuff like that. So what I did for this story is I kind of took what I liked about both the Disney version and the original fairy tale and kind of put my own spin to kind of replace those concepts that I was like not a huge fan of, like how young she was, how she couldn't speak when she went to be with when she became a human and stuff like that. those whole things, those tropes that get played over and over again in all different retellings and stuff. I was like, I want to do something a little different. And so the story I ended up with was this mermaid princess who is kind of feeling kind of pushed aside by her father and stuff. And she wants more agency. She wants to have a voice, really, with her father, kind of a thing. More of a metaphor than a literal thing. But so then she sees so when she sees like her father being all gung-ho about like, declaring war on the humans or trying to subvert them, kind of a thing, trying to like stir up the other merfolk to rise up against them, she's like, well wait, do we actually know what the humans are like, kind of a thing, or are we just having a whole lot of assumptions? Is there a way that we can talk with them, kind of a thing, or interact somehow, kind of a thing? And so she wants to become human because she wants to be able to see what they're actually like, and like maybe try to maybe use this information to try to reason with her father. And then on the other side, we have Prince Nathan, who his father, the king, is kind of old, and he's been training kind of to become king, kind of a thing. Or he has the castle steward who's trying to like, train him and inform him of all like kingly duties and stuff, but he doesn't really want to. He's not really, he kind of likes the life of a prince where he can just go where he wants and do what he wants and have things provided for him and stuff. And he's, facing that. And then when
it's like going on vacation in Hawaii.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Not jelly. No, not jealous. Yeah, not jealous at all. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So when Nathan and Elaine meet, things kind of, it's their two mindsets kind of coming into collision, and it turns out that there is a plot that kind of gets thrown into motion, and to overthrow somebody else, is one of the other human kingdoms is trying to overthrow this or trying to get in and kind of do like a kind of a takeover of the island kingdom. And so then Elaine finds herself in the middle of that, and so then she has to decide, well, is she going to use this information that, hey, maybe the humans aren't really as much of a threat as we like to think they are, and go back to her father and try to reconcile, make things better with him? Or is she going to stay with the humans and try to help them not get taken over by this other kingdom who might not be so willing to work with the merfolk, kind of a thing? So it's a little different. It's not your ordinary Little Mermaid story.
So did you, the original fairy tale is a little darker than, of course, the Disney,
Yes.
just a smidge. So did you follow more along the lines of the darkness of the original fairy tale, or did you kind of go midstream, or who are you writing for here?
I kind of went midstream. I would like to think. I am a huge like fairy tale retelling junkie. And like if it's a retelling of any fairy tale that I've ever heard of, I immediately want to read it, kind of a thing. And so I've read lots and lots of those fairy tale retellings, and I love the message of hope that it really brings. Not so much like the true love and like following your heart, but just kind of like, keep us that sense of hope that it has, that like if you just keep going, then and working with others in your path, kind of a thing. It's always better to cooperate, kind of a thing, than to try to just blast through any kind of conflict, kind of a thing. And and it's always better, it always ends up better if people are actually talking to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're into talking to people. Oh, that's weird.
Communication.
That's awkward, especially in a book. I really like the darker Grimm tales, the Brothers Grimm. I think there's a lot of tales that they have that haven't even been touched.
Yeah.
So I'm not the guy that puts the happy, hopeful spin on things, and I typically don't like people talking in my books, so I tell them all to shut up and just do something. No, just kidding. But yeah, so you released this in October of 2020.
Yes.
How's that been going for you?
It was going pretty well for a couple months, and then it's like, so this is my first foray into self-publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to figure out how to do all of my own marketing is an adventure.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't want to be that person who's just like, buy my book all the time, but I also really do want you to buy my book.
My book. I'm not telling you to buy my book, just to buy my book. Anyway, if you just take a look at buy my book.
Yeah. So it's been kind of slow recently, but that's probably because it's the start of the year, and like I got super busy because I work in a elementary school, so I that takes out a good chunk of my day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been going pretty well, and I was surprised at how easy the self-publishing process. I mean, I used Kindle Direct Publishing, so that whole, like, once I had all the files finished, I had to hire a formatter and stuff, and she designed the cover and everything, and so but like once I had all those files finished, that process took a while. Then just uploading it and then setting the price and making sure all of that was in order went together relatively quickly. So
cool.
I was very, very surprised, very happy.
Cool. So you got another book in the works, or?
I do. So Princess of Undersea is going to start the series, the Undersea Saga.
Okay.
And so then it's going to be there's going to be 4 books, and they're all going to take on a different fairy tale. Like the sequel that I'm working on now, called Fugitive of Crossway, is kind of, I'm taking inspiration from Pinocchio, because like the main character isn't really a puppet who wants to be a real boy. I didn't really have that in place, but just using the different concept and ideas that I had already introduced in Princess of Undersea kind of thing.
This is kind of funny.
Yes. Yeah, but just going back and again, knowing what I know of the Disney version and just that whole thing, and also going back because it actually, the Disney version actually, I guess it didn't really stay very close to the original, but just going back to the original and seeing what I could reference or kind of tweak to include in my story was really fun.
I love it when people take liberations with fairy tales and kind of combine them, or put their own twist on it and everything. I mean, it makes it very interesting, especially when you think about it and you think about, well, I mean, Pinocchio and the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
You think they're two totally different worlds, but then all of a sudden it's almost I don't want to say jarring, but it's almost like an enlightenment when, oh my God, these two characters can be in the same world. Yeah. They can.
Yeah. It was really exciting.
Yeah. Not only that, we added in Darth Vader too, just to screw with, I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of my favorite part, is just like the liberty and the freedom to just explore. Like oh, here's a harebrained idea. Like, let's try this out and see how far it goes. And it ends up like holding solid through the whole plot. And it's like, yay, that was a good one.
Cool. So but you have experience being a writer. I mean, you teach in an elementary school, so obviously,
Mhm.
they have a little bit of a writing in there. What grade do you teach?
I'm actually a paraeducator, so
A
kind of
what?
a staff. It's called, the term is paraeducator. It's also called staff assistant. So we're the ones who like do like small groups, or we're teacher supports. We watch them during like recess and at lunchtime in the cafeteria. So it's a lot of interaction with multiple grade levels.
Man, I tell you
So
what, that really just blew the whole thing I had going in my mind when you said you're a para teacher. I was thinking like, you're jumping out of a plane, landing in the playground, getting the bully, I mean, something fun, but yeah, okay, small group teaching. Got
yes, yes, yes. So
it.
multiple grade levels.
I'm a para
I
teacher.
Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
jumped out of a plane?
No,
Oh, okay.
I am not that brave.
Oh, come on. Start with a helicopter. No, just kidding. All righty. So what kind of small group, I mean, what kind of teaching do you do? I'm sorry. You may have just said, but
So it's mostly, well, because it's an elementary level, so they have a lot of like language arts. They're mostly focused on like writing, spelling, reading, and math,
mm-hmm.
basic math. So I kind of just help where it's needed. Most of the time, I do help the ones who are kind of behind on their reading level. So just kind of taking that a small group setting to be able to slow down and not, as opposed to like a grade level teacher who has to teach an entire classroom and make sure that everybody's up to speed, kind of a thing. It's a little bit harder when you get 20 to 30 kids, kind of a thing, as opposed to like my groups would be like 5 to 10, and being able to, of like the lowest ones, and just being able to teach at their speed and give them the most opportunity for success,
Mm-hmm.
and just to help them grasp, our focus is helping them really grasp those concepts instead of just getting through the material. It's like teaching for the understanding of it. So
Cool. And you also run a blog.
yes, I
What do
run a
you,
blog.
yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us about your blog.
Okay. It's called the Upstream Writer, and I started it back in 2013 because I was really nervous about like publishing, but I really loved like writing stories. So I had all of these stories just on my computer. And so then the blog was kind of a way to kind of share little bits and pieces of it, just to see what like other people thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started with that, I started also adding on reviews of independently published books, or books by independently published authors and stuff, and just featuring those on my blog, and that opened up a whole new network of like of readers who wanted to find and connecting the readers with these authors that I've really enjoyed just about every book that I've reviewed. So that's really awesome. That's been awesome for me, and just expanding it to not just posting like old stuff that I wrote, but also posting articles about like how to, or like my process for different aspects of the writing
Mm-hmm.
process. And um I've done serials where just um I just hit up people, and I just message a bunch of friends and be like, okay, somebody send me a list of a name, a place, a time, and an object, and then I can just write something really quick to that incorporates all those 4 things and then post it, kind of a thing. So it's like an extra challenge for me to write something fresh and keep that going, as well as
what's the
just
weird, so
continue,
you're emailing your friend saying, give me 4 things and I'll put it in a story.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing they ever asked you to do?
I've got one, probably the one that that made me just respond to the friend and be like, I hate you so much.
That's your best friend right there.
Right? Yeah, her list was, I think it was the year 4093, and the object was a can of frozen orange juice concentrate. And I'm like, what the heck? But I did it. It was that was so fun. And that also, the thing that really was like totally off the wall is that year was the year that I decided to do take this concept and try to write a continuous story. So not just taking each list as its own entity, but trying to connect these things and make a cohesive plot out of it. And so then I get that and I'm just like, how in the world am I going to make this fit? And I did. So I was very proud of myself.
So if anybody out there wants to read about a can of frozen orange juice concentrate in the year 4093, yeah, we will have the blog link below in the show notes so you all can see what happened there.
It's called the suggestion box.
The suggestion box. That's pretty good. I actually I really like your friend. That's funny. So what else do you do with your time? I mean, you teach, you write, you blog, read books.
Yeah, that's about what fills my days, kind of a thing. Yeah. It's like, if I'm not in the mood for writing or reading, then I'll just probably pop on a show or something, or just browse Facebook and be all lame and like that.
Oh, Facebook. Oh God. They're starting.
It is true.
They're starting to tick me off.
I am in enough groups, the writing groups, that I can usually find something that, like, somebody's talking about something that I want to respond on. So then I can interact like that and just kind of just make new friends and meet people and stuff online safely, where I can do it introvert style.
I had a meme that had nothing to do with politics. I mean, it wasn't even all that dirty, and it got fact checked. I'm like, it's a joke.
Seriously.
It's like, why did you, it was during, right after the election and all, and they're just fact checking everything. It's like, so I contested it, and they're like, we don't have time to do this. Just accept our it's like, what? Now, wait a minute. I think it's about Where's Waldo or something like that. I mean, I just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's politically incorrect. I'm sorry I violated your community rules with Where's Waldo, but whatever, but they're kind of ticking me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But the dirty jokes I got dinged for, yeah, I get that, but those are like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have posted that, even though I posted 9 other places. But yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Pick on the authors. That's fine. Dirtballs. Anyway.
Right.
So what do you do for advertising for your books? Do you just strictly do Amazon, or do you Facebook, BookBub, Goodreads? What do you got going?
Well, I am on Goodreads and Amazon, and I have an author page on Facebook. So those are predominantly the places that I go around and interact. I'm probably most active on my Facebook author page, Leslie Conzatti, the Upstream Writer.
Okay.
So if you want to, directly interact with me or post something about, like, my stories, or ask me any questions, I think that's kind of where you would find me the most. And then my Amazon author page would just have a listing of like all the the books that I'm publishing, and also the anthologies containing short stories that I've written. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. I just started kind of messing around a little bit with some of your blogs a little bit. The Clan of Outcasts is kind of interesting. Season 3,
yes,
part 13. Ooh,
yes,
14. And if you back up, you can catch up on that. But that's kind of interesting that you serialize your blog. I kind of knew people did that, but I never thought about actually doing anything like that. So
yeah, I started that when. Oh, sorry. So
no,
I
go
started
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I started serializing right when I launched the blog, just because it was kind of an easy way to make these, like, because I had just a lot of really long stories and books and stuff that I'd written, that it was serializing. So serializing was a way to just get little bits out at a time and kind of stretch it out over a longer period of time. And it gave me something consistently to post every week. So like if I had nothing else that I was posting, I would at least have my Serial Saturday post. So there's a lot of under Serial Saturdays, you'll have all the stories that I've posted,
Including the OJ,
just like that.
I'm sorry.
So
That's where you post your, like the one that you were talking about, the one with the OJ in year 40.
yes. Oh yes.
83?
So
All
including all the like suggestion box and everything like that. Yeah.
Cool. So do you still do it that way, or do you with your friends, or do you just come up with your own stuff now?
I really want to get back to doing the suggestion box, just because that was really fun. The thing is, I have so much that I'm in the middle of right now. Like I'm still actively writing the Clan of Outcasts, and like that most recent post was from the Clan of Outcasts. I just finished it that morning, so it's like I finished it and then I posted really fast. But and like I've done the suggestion box like 4 different times, like 4 different ways. Like I started out just purely just taking the lists as they came and stuff, and putting them together, and writing quick short things. Then the next year I tried the next year, so for the next year is the one that I did a continuous story. And then I did one where like I was like, okay, I want to just see how long I can make this last. So I found out that the more effective way was to like find different like writing prompt or like character or setting inspiration photos on Facebook, and then sharing them to my page and asking for a name, a place, time, and object. Because then not only did it help people, come up with stuff, but also then my blog post would have a thumbnail of that picture. So that really helped. So doing that was really, really fun. And then the 4th year, I kind of folded it into an A to Z challenge, where I took different like characters. For the names, I took the names of characters of things that I'd already written, like in previous suggestion box or like unfinished projects and stuff like that, and came up with the remaining place, time, object kind of thing, doing that myself kind of thing. So I don't know what I would do for a 5th iteration, but eventually when things kind of slow down, a writer's work is never done. But, I don't know what I would do for doing it a 5th time, but I would definitely be open to that should the opportunity arise.
That is like I said, I think that's a really cool idea. I really do.
It worked.
See, you said that you kind of blog about your writing process. What is your writing process? I mean, what do you do? I mean, you sit down and write every day, just when you feel like it, 3 days a week, 5 days a week? What do you do?
I kind of trade off reading and writing. So I read this quote somewhere. I don't remember where I read it, but it really struck me. It was like, reading is breathing in and writing is breathing out, kind of a thing. And it's kind of true. It's like if I'm reading too much without doing any writing, kind of a thing, if I just just keep reading and reading, or like watching shows and movies, just consuming media, kind of a thing, I start feeling really anxious, like I need to be writing, I need to let it out, kind of a thing. Whereas like if I'm just like, I have to write, and I'm just like writing constantly, then I get burned out really quickly, because I'm not taking in to replace what I'm giving out, kind of a thing. So I find that I'm most effective when I have a balance between my reading and my writing, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to kind of trade off or do a little bit of both if I can. If I don't have enough time, then I just kind of, I have the notes app on my phone, so when I think of it, I just make a note, kind of a thing. Or when I develop the plot, kind of a thing, it's like it's usually like gradually just working through. It's like me like kind of previewing the plot in my mind, kind of a thing. So then just I'll write it out so that I can go back and read through what I've got and just follow my own thinking and
Sure.
stuff. And so yeah, so then that's just kind of like, and then once I've been through the whole plot with like a basic outline, just quick and dirty outline, then I go back and I start writing it, kind of a thing. So it's like I'm going through the plot multiple times, and like even just starting with the outline, like I don't stick to the outline a lot of times. A lot of times it's like once the characters start interacting, or once I really get into the story, it starts changing or stuff. And like depending on like this conversation between these two characters, and they actually bring up this topic that I was going to mention later, but they're talking about it now, so we're just go with that and just tweak it later, kind of a thing. So I'm like making tweaks to my outline as I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And so then then once I get through the first draft, then it's back through, and it's like, do I need to change anything and stuff, and does it all work? Do I need to, is it something that just needs tweaking, or do I need to like rewrite whole sections, kind of a thing? And so
So you're a plotter.
yeah, kind of a plotter, pantser, kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, I start out as a plotter. I'm very much a plotter. I want to have an idea of where I'm going, and then just to give me checkpoints, kind of a thing. So like as I'm writing, the characters can go wherever, and it can feel organic. I don't want it to feel forced at all. So then as I'm going, I try to let the characters lead, and just kind of like, if this idea that I had in my outline isn't going to fit or isn't going to work, or I have to stretch really hard to force it in there, I just don't, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to come at it from another direction. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So I have a burning question that I need to ask you.
Yes.
What are your plans for today in Hawaii?
So it sounds like we are going to go on something of a nature hike, which will end at a coffee shop. So that'll be yes. Going for coffee, and then we're just hang out on the beach for the afternoon, and then we might go up to a mountain where we can watch the sunset.
Ooh.
So
very relaxed day, huh?
Yes. I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah, don't worry. When you come back to Washington, I'm sure the weather will be great.
Oh yeah, it'll be rainy and it'll be just dismal and all the snow will be gone and
Mm-hmm. It'll be gray.
mm-hmm.
It'll be gray.
Yes.
That's a great color. Very cool. Well, do you have anything else you want to tell your readers?
I think we've covered it all.
All right.
We've covered
Very cool.
pretty much most of it.
I really hope that you have a great time for the rest of your vacation. You said you're about half done, so you got half of it left. Go enjoy.
Yep.
Do some parasailing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, all right. But with that, I want to thank you very much for your time once again. This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast telling you, you know what? It's going to be a great day at some point in time. It's going to warm up here in the United States, hopefully, well, whatever. And you know what? Best thing you can do is go write something.
Yes.
And I hope that you all have a great day and keep your chin up. Bye-bye.
Please hit the subscribe button. I get a bonus for every subscriber and I only need 1,506 more to become a full-time paid employee. Help me please.